good to be here this morning. I appreciate what I felt. Last night I prayed. I stayed up real late. I don't like sitting up late, but I stayed up real late praying. I just couldn't get nothing. I laid in bed for a long time. Still couldn't get nothing. Got up early this morning. Felt like I might have got something for the church, but told the Lord, if there's anybody that's lost there, you know, I got to drop all this.
Yeah.
And during Sunday school, I was going to go pray again and try to find something. When Jason asked me just then to come on, I said, Lord, I'm just going to open my Bible. Wherever it's at, that's where I'm going to preach. And my Bible, above every few verses, has got something that tells you what the next few verses are about. When I opened it up, I seen the great invitation. I'm going to start in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Y'all pray that the Lord would anoint me. Matthew 11, verse 28. The Bible says, Come unto me, all ye that are labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. You shall find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now that's all I'm going to be reading. I just want to talk for a minute about your soul finding rest. Now the place Kayla's in this morning, her soul doesn't have any rest. It's in turmoil, and it seems like we've all had a burden for her. One of the reasons I've had a burden for Scarlett is because I was with her a few times when I was lost. And we was doing things we shouldn't have done, and now that I'm out of that, I want to pull Kayla out of it. And what we've got this morning is as simple as it is, just a great invitation. There's things that's starting to move this morning. No Sunday school, we ain't had no singing, just people being obedient. But he says right here, Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Now before I came to him, I was doing a lot of laboring. It seemed like that's all I was doing, morning, noon, and night. It seemed labor. It seemed even for me to sleep, it was labor. And I couldn't find no rest anywhere I went. I'd go to the left, I couldn't find any rest. I'd go to the right, I couldn't find any rest. But it seemed like through it all, my wife, she'd come to church, and I'd watch her, and it seemed like she was always resting in her soul. It seemed like she'd sit on the couch, and I'd sit on the couch, but what was going on her end of the couch was different than what was going on my end of the couch. And I thought, I need something on the inside that can give me some rest. Because she had something on the inside that was giving her soul rest. We'd be in the same room, the same things going on, and she'd be happy and I'd be sad. We'd go out and do the same things, and she'd be happy and I'd be sad. And through all this, I found out that there was one thing that she had that I didn't have. See, I could line it all up on a paper, and it seemed like everything was the same. We lived in the same house. We slept in the same bed. We drove the same vehicles. But she'd talk about Jesus, and I wouldn't. And when she'd get to talking about Him, she'd get happy, and there'd be a peace come over her. And I didn't have that, and I wanted it. And I'd go, and I'd deal, and I'd labor, and I'd labor, and I'd labor. And I'd look over at her, and she'd rest. I'd say, Good Lord, I want some of that rest. And then one night, I was at the jail out there at work. I'm going to testify to you a minute and try to preach. That's all I know to do, and I'll get somebody to come sing, and we'll try to get somebody to come. But I was out there at the jail. Y'all, you know my testimony. I took all that stuff. I was having panic attacks. And it got that night out there at the jail so bad that I thought I was going to have to leave work. And I thought, well, this is it. Now, it doesn't mess with my sleep. It's messed with other things. But now if it messes with my job, there's going to be a lot of things that go on that ain't good. I'm going to have to quit. I ain't going to be able to feed Hannah and Addison. I just say I ain't going to be able to do nothing if I can't work. And that night it got on me, and I was looking, and I thought I seen things, and my heart was beating out of my chest. I was scared to death. And I went in the bathroom. I went in the jail bathroom, filthy. And I went in there and I said, Lord, I told you the other night 4 times. I said, I've tried 4 different times, and I feel like I just failed you. I feel like I've lost everything you've given me. I got down on my knees in that bathroom. I said, if you'll give me one more chance, if you give me one more chance. And I found when I got down that night, when I reached out, the door was still unlocked. I figured for sure it would have been locked. But the door was still unlocked, and He told me to come on in. Amen. And that night I came in and I found that peace that Hannah had and that other people I've seen it had. But He said, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Yes, bless Him, Lord. Are you tired of laboring all the time? Right. Do you want some rest in your soul? It's not a fun thing to go home every day and feel like you're laboring on the inside. It's one thing to work on the outside, but when you're laboring on the inside constantly, there's no rest. There's no rest. I had no rest. I'd take drugs to try to get rest. I'd try to go to bed at night to get rest. I'd wake up and I was still tired. He said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. Now, when your soul finds rest, it's something that you can't compare to anything else, because all those things that are going on the inside and going on up here, it seems like they just stop when Jesus comes in. That's right. It all just stops. All the chaos, everything to do with the world, it all just dies down. You finally find some peace. Right. But the Bible says, Jesus said, I am the way. Walter talked about the door. It said He was a door. He told them all to come right here. He's given a great invitation. And if you'll come just play for me for just a minute. Yeah. I just want to see somebody pray. I do too. I told you last night I studied. I laid in my living room. I didn't go to bed with my family trying to find something to give you. And I felt like maybe I had something for the church. And this morning I seen you walk in and I thought, well, I got to go after you. I have to go after you. So while she plays, if you'll bow your head for just a minute. I didn't have a lot, but I got this invitation. That's all I can give you. That's all I can give you. We've been in a good revival, and I've seen people pray. This is what it's all about. Somebody to find Jesus. Everybody's heads are bowed. The invitation's been given. If you need rest for your soul, it's up here. If you're tired of laboring every morning, every evening, and all night long, I was waking up in the late hours of the night, laboring inside my soul. He said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. Once you get to the Lord, you find out that things aren't that hard. He walks with you every step of the way. Life, all that life you've been living that seems so hard, it gets real easy. I don't know where you're at this morning. I don't know what's going on, but I know if you'll come, that He can make your burden light. He can take that weight off of you that's been weighing you down. Does anybody want to come? Anybody want to raise their hand and I'll be praying for you? As He said this morning, He's the door. He's the good shepherd. He's the way, the truth, and the life. See, there was a woman one day at the well and she was drawing. There was a man that came up to her and said, give me to drink. She said, how is it that thou being a Jew asked me, a Samaritan, for something to drink? You have no dealings with us. And I remember a day I had no dealings with him. But he said, if you knew who it was that asked you for a drink, you'd ask me for a drink of this water, and I'd give you some water that you could take and never thirst again. If you want to come get some of this water this morning, if you're tired of going to that well and pulling out, and the time you get home, it seems like the water's already gone. Does anybody want to come this morning? Does anybody want to come and get some of this water?